The SEC is investigating what may be another pay-to-play scandal, this one involving U.S. financial institutions and sovereign wealth funds. The issue is whether these firms paid bribes, yes, bribes, to get business from the funds. Erik Keeley is the senior managing principal at Sovereign Trends. He used to be head of Sovereign Client Services at UBS, where his clients included sovereign wealth funds, and he still counts them among his clients. Terry, let me just ask you this question. Do you think these abuses are taking place?
Well, 100% for sure abuses are taking place, Erik. Corruption of public officials has been around ever since Prometheus probably stole fire from the gods. It is absolutely certain corruption is widespread, not only abroad, but here in the United States, where we've had our own pay-for-play scandal, as you know.
Of course we have. Steve Ratner, Quadrangle, CalPERS out in California. Talk to us about the kinds of things you've heard. How is it that these firms and sovereign wealth funds might be doing business the wrong way?
Well, Erik, whenever huge sums of money are involved, temptations are very large. And, of course, government officials are not exactly ones that are paid a lot of money to do what they do. The temptations can only have only multiplied in recent years. What we do know is that the OECD has attempted, with a total of, I think, 34 countries, to create a convention on combating bribery of foreign public officials. So 34 signatories. Unfortunately, there's 192 countries. There's 158 countries that have yet to sign on. That's part of the problem. The other part is that the 34 that have signed on do not consistently apply the convention. And then the third part is that people will always break the rules. The SEC is doing what it can for a small part of the tangle, but we need other countries to be equally vigilant, and we need non-signatory countries to come on board.
Terry, you advise sovereign wealth funds in addition to central banks. What impact might this scandal, should it explode into something bigger than it is now, have on their reputations and the kind of profile that they cut in a country like the U.S.?
Hearts are beating a lot faster today in many national capitals, Erik, at finance ministries, central banks, at sovereign wealth funds, where officials hope their most egregious transgressions will obviously go undetected. Sad thing is most of them will. I think that the critical thing is for the conventions that the OECD and the Santiago Principles, you remember that a group of sovereign wealth funds came together to generate generally accepted principles and practices, that these be truly taken to heart, that they be repeated. There will always be bad eggs, but first and foremost, there needs to be a clear understanding of what a pecuniary advantage, that's the actual technical term in the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. This is the act that the SEC is trying to enforce. It was first adopted in '77. What pecuniary advantages are is that an overnight stay at a hotel, which you'll recall got Ernst Weltke, the president of the Bundesbank, in problem. Or was it direct kickbacks that led to the firing of a gold dealer at the Central Bank of Brazil? It's very clear that there are areas of gray which should not be made gray.
Terry, thanks for joining us. Great perspective from Erik Keeley of Sovereign Trends. He advises sovereign wealth funds and central banks. He knows firsthand why this is an issue that makes people nervous.